Hi, my name is Jill Yu, and welcome to the editor's commentary for my video, Neon White, Great Game, Greater Potential. Sorry if this comes out a little late. I'm already recording this a few days after the video came out, because when I finished it, I was really sick, and my throat was really sore, and it still kinda is, so I'm gonna record all of part 1's commentary, and I'm gonna do part 2's commentary and part 3's commentary in like subsequent days, because my throat hurts still, but at least I could probably get like a 20-minute recording session out of the way. So yeah, basically I'm just gonna go through the editing timeline of the video and tell you how I did what. If you want me to keep doing these, let me know in the comments below. Yeah. So let's just get started. I just start out with simple stock footage, a title, and music to show that I'm not going to do spoilers, and then I cut with the TV static thing, and then we can get to the actual video. February 17th, 2021. A Nintendo Direct occurred. I mostly watched for the reveal of a new Smash fighter, which ended up being Pyra and Mythra from Xenoblade 2, and I also wanted a release date on No More Heroes 3, which I got. But then, immediately after, I saw something interesting. So here we start off with the standard jelly business. You know, we got audio, good music, my wait sound effects, and the footage from Nintendo Direct. I just held the little thumbnail frame in place, and I used a simple draw mask, as you can see here. That looks a little trippy, to just get the shape of the little arrow, and then, you know, I layer that, displace it a little bit, and make him appear in 3. And then when I talk about Pyra and Mythra, when it's standing still here, I decide to, you know, obviously get her face, and also Big Booba, because, you know, big joke about Xenoblade 2 is how much that game has very horny intentions, to say the least. And then for this, I just held the frame of the release date, and then I held it specifically so that, like, the second I'm done talking about that, I can easily transition to the actual footage of the Direct, and then play the clip from Neon White. A trailer for an indie first-person shooter with a sick art style and Steve Blum voicing the main character. I thought it looked sick. Neon White, coming out 2022. Cool. Then it left my memory for a year. This is just more standard stuff, but I just wanted to mention that, I got a new sound effect. Then it left... I like that so much. Then it left... That's so awesome. But, yeah, more standard, just masking an element of the frame and just layering it as to emphasize whatever I'm talking about as I show, like, you know, the footage of the first trailer. And we got Steve Blum there. Fast forward to June 9th, 2022. Another trailer for Neon White drops, and the game seems way more polished now. And it even has a neat tagline. A game for freaks, by freaks. And the best part, it comes out June 16th. Oh, sorry, did I say the best part? Because I lied. The best part is that this is a fucking speedrunning game. Speedrunning games are sick as fuck. So, I pre-ordered that shit immediately. So, something I want to bring up here is when to perfectly time your use of music and footage. So, like, you know, here I cut out all visuals and background noise to emphasize, to bring attention to whatever I'm about to say. And it's very important that you, like, learn to do this, because if you do it too much, it doesn't work properly, right? But if you do it a good amount of times, it really reels in the viewer's attention, because it makes them want to think, like, sorry, I got hiccups. It makes them want to think what's coming up next, like, oh god, what's happening next, you know? And, you know, it's like horror movies do this. There's a huge moment of silence to build up the tension before the jump scare in, like, a shitty horror movie. It's the same principle here. I'm just using it for something good and not just a shitty, cheap jump scare. And then here, when I bring up the speedrunning game, the way I do this inverted text thingy is that I get text the text box saying speedrunning game. And then what I did was I copy and pasted the footage and inverted the colors, and then I applied an image mask to that text so that it just looks like this. I love this like whole inverted text thingy. It's just so cool. And then when I bring up speedrunning games, I bring up a bunch of my favorite speedrunning games, and then just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, frankly, I'm gonna be totally honest. It was kind of a mistake to space them out, to space out Portal and Hades 3 apart, but I just did them in increments of 4 frames because, you know, I just felt like it. And then I have what I consider to be the most important speedrunning game to exist, because like it kind of, like, speedruns would probably not exist without the original Doom, so I have that take front and center. And when I say sick, I get that I get a sound effect and I stretch it out to sort of be like, hey, this is a big important speedrunning game both to me and to other people, to emphasize this point. And then I say so with the normal footage, and then when I say I pre-ordered that shit immediately. To do that, it's to sort of to when I hold out the when I cut out the visuals here, man, my brain is running on fumes. When I cut out the visuals and background noise here, this is to sort of give the line kind of a comedic punchline. Even like, I'm not trying to get you to laugh, I'm just trying to lighten up the mood just a tad bit, just to get you more conditioned to like be in a good mood when watching the video. And then I just, you know, more standard shit. I was so fucking hyped for those 2 weeks of waiting, and while I was playing it, I realized something. This game has possibly the greatest potential of anything to ever exist. But before I tell you why don't we look at what? So, you know, here, the emphasis of the, hold on, let me first just, this game has possibly the, I have to like get that preamble to the main point of the sentence where I say the greatest potential of, and then I put anything is the thing that I actually layer onto each other and emphasize with a different text box, a different font, different size, new sound effect. So as per usual, sometimes it's good to type out the sentence you're talking about and then emphasize the big important like word or phrase in that sentence. And then I wanted to like make a joke where like I cut myself off saying what with this like cool title. So in this title, I made it a compound clip. So what I did was, first of all, the like music playing is from Neon White. When you start a new chapter, this music plays. So then, what I basically did was I downloaded this like video desktop of just a bunch of like colors and shapes. And then I sort of try to replicate the like how the text kind of flickers all over the place in the game. So we got my title here, and notice that it has an outline. And the reason I did that was because it's kind of, I don't know, hard to just see what the hell is going on. Like, it's hard to like, why can't I? Here we go. If I took off the outline here, it's kind of the blues mesh on the background, right? And I can't have that. And also, as you can see, I made this a compound clip of just me putting cuts and then just moving it around a bunch. And the reason I did that was so that I could cut off the beginning of the clip and the end of the clip so it transitions into the others way easily. Remember, if you're using Final Cut, transitions are really dumb and you need space before and after your clip for it to transition seamlessly. They have to cut off. So just keep that in mind. But here I use the diagonal transition. And then I fucked with the colors on the video desktop thingy. And then I have the text layering today's video. And then I have another transition. I believe this one is called Vertigo. Fucked with the colors more. This time, instead, here I inverted the colors, and here I just like blew the saturation just like way out of the water. And then here it says, you know, neon white, great game, great potential, fucks around all over the place. And then we have, I think this is just called wipe. Yeah, insert wipe, transition into part 1. And then the way I layered this specifically so that it goes to the right, so it's kind of like progressing forward, you know, like the video is about to progress forward. And then here I cross-faded the text because the background transition didn't mesh well. But this transition I downloaded from an external site. It's just like called Transition 1, but it's from like a pack that's a bunch of matrix effects. It's pretty cool. And then I have Great Game. And as you can see, Great Game is fading all over the place. But when it gets to the big emphasis end of the song, I have it stand in place and like slowly shrink and then crossfade. And then I start the crossfade of the background early, just because it looks more nice. And that's how I did that. It took a while to make, actually. I'm very proud of that. I did a lot of experimenting with transitions there. Let's talk about the aesthetics of this game first, specifically color schemes, because the title of the game explains it pretty well. It's neon colors on white, and it looks sick as fuck! So here, you know, standard layering stuff, aesthetics, and I decided to just go, I needed a neon color, and I just chose like cyan, because like here, like cyan is a very used color on like most of the promotional material and in the early stages, so I just went with that. And then I chose yellow for the text because it's a complementary color. Here I did the same image mask trick with this text, except here the text box is just the word color with a drop shadow effect applied to it. So it's the same thing, but I just, instead of messing, I just dropped something. Instead of messing with the color scheme, I just added a drop shadow effect instead to like emphasize that this is all about color, and it looks unique and nice, and you can still tell what this says, and it looks really cool. And then I just show the blank stuff for color, and then I get the, you know, the word white from the logo that I just cut out. And then when I say sick as fuck, this game has very cringe humor, and it just reminded me of like MLG era YouTube, so I just put the Obey hat and Deal With It glasses on white, just because I think it'd be funny as I like zoom in to the image. And this is just merely to back up my statement that this is sick as fuck. And it looks sick as fuck! Exaggerated cartoon elements to give the game that silly what the fuck tone, and the music, it gives it a vibe of fast absurdism, which,
You're so lucky you...
I'm not gonna play the fucking cutscenes, because you can just watch the video, but, here, when I said exaggerated cartoon elements to give... So I was like, okay, I need a level that, like, has cartooniness, and, like, I've always thought that these enemies in particular look cartoonish. So I was like, okay, I will just get the level where I fight a cajillion of these guys to do that. And then when I emphasize my point about the fucking cutscene, I just play it. I should mention, as you can see, I have all of these fucking different projects, and because I recorded the entire playthrough by myself, so I just organized all of the levels. Like, I cut them into separate things and named them individually. Like, here's level 210, Dancer, the one that you just saw. And this is just like my entire playthrough. 7 hours of gameplay, and this includes the side missions too, you know? And this is just me playing. And then, you know, I have a separate project for the cutscenes I needed here, which wasn't many. And then, like, you know, miscellaneous stuff like the screenshots of my world record. It's just good to organize your shit under different projects under the same event, you know? I'll get to what Workshop and Level Maker are and Montage later, because I want to touch up on that a bit more. But for now, let's just continue on with the video. But oh, something else I should mention, like in the gameplay project, as you can see, I have this just gap here taking place on the main layer, so that when I copy and paste over, let's say I want Red's 6 side quest mission, and I just copy it, and then I paste it where, okay, cool. So the reason that I had it on top was just because, you know, it appears on top of the audio where I need it, but if it was on the main timeline, it would appear like this, which just wouldn't help me at all. So that's something to keep in mind if you're like new to Final Cut. You know, like here I have gaps. Make use of gaps, they're always so useful. But anyways, on with the video. Yeah, that makes sense, but the aesthetics really match the tone of the gameplay. Speaking of the music, guys, this soundtrack's in the top 10. So, okay, sorry for the cut. So here, you know, I continue talking about it, and when I switch to part 1B, I keep the music to keep that, you know, frenetic, fast pace that the music gives the game, and I give that to my video through keeping the same music, but I change the backdrop to, and show the text. Again, it's just a complementary color for the color of the text to signify that this is a new thing I'm talking about. And then when I want to emphasize the soundtrack, so... Guys, cut the visuals and all background noise and play the dunk noise. And then here, I made these audio spectrums in After Effects. I drag in the audio. I made a new shape, and then I go to Effect, Generate Audio Spectrum, and then I make it in. Normally, it appears like this. But I made it appear like the analog lines. Because I just like that more. I think it looks cooler. And then, you know, here are the effects I use. I use this preset on all 3 of the songs I showed. This is Glass Ocean, this one. I just changed the colors per song to just what color I, like, felt represented it. Just because, like, to, you know, just to differentiate them. So I made that in After Effects. And then here, you know, I made a compound clip where I just slowly layer it. Again, I added the gaps here so that's easy to transition them into each other, but I just made them appear like this. And then, in terms of background, I just got something that, like, you know, yellow kind of contrasts with red, so I chose a level from the old city where the primary color is red. And I just put text with the same color as the audio spectrum, just saying the name of the song. And then I just have them all crossfade into each other. And then I notice how I have the same level I was using right here is the same level I use over Glass Ocean. This was intentional because, you know, the background contrasts nicely with the cyan that I chose for the color of Glass Ocean's audio spectrum, and I could just fade back in nicely to whatever I'm talking about. And as you can see, I just continue the music from where I had it playing. It's so fucking good. In a game that is centered around speedrunning the same 20-second level over and over, you're gonna need fast action, frenetic, yet catchy music to keep you motivated while playing. And it succeeds spectacularly. I'm never bored playing this game. Machine Girl has really outdone herself. I jam to this shit while I clean my room every week. Hey, this is just a reminder. This is so cringy because I recorded it fucking like a year ago. This is just something I copy and paste from video to video. If you want to know the compound, I just got like a template like and subscribe thing and just fit in my profile picture and text into it. But I always just, I want to remind people to like and subscribe because actually telling them to do it does correlate in a spike with like and subscribes and stuff. So yeah, I put it in here because it just fit best, and it was where it least disrupted the flow. I'm sorry if you guys don't like these. I need to get more subscribers and stuff. You know how it be. But onto here. I'd say this is the only sour part of the game. To put it lightly, the story in this game is incredibly mid, and the dialogue sucks. So here, for the entire story section, I don't put in background music because I show a lot of cutscene examples, and having the music constantly cut in and out would disrupt the flow. But I also want to mention the color of this text is red. And one, because, you know, again, it contrasts with the blue of the video I'm showing. But also, if you noticed, part 1 has yellow, part 2 has violet, part 3 has red. And who is White's best friends? That's right, red, violet, and yellow, except ignore the fact that yellow is not in this picture, and instead it's green, the main antagonist. We don't talk about that. But, I like just being a little thematic there. It's really fun. Like, I like making fun videos, but it's even more fun to hide stuff like that, I like hiding details. But anyways, I show a montage of cringy dialogue, or at least what's cringy in my opinion, and I should continue to show the intro movie just to give an example of what I'm talking about, and then here... I
met this other Neon earlier who was a total simp. Maybe I'll just go play with him instead.
Yikes. So I want to hold yikes, because, I think the word simp is really lame. I don't like that word. I hate it very much. But, comedy is subjective, and this is, the most subjective part of the game. And honestly, I flip-flop between hating and loving the dialogue, every month. But, I want to emphasize that this was kind of cringe to me by holding this frame and then masking out Violet and layering that. And I have it going down and to the left, which, up and to the right is what's considered progressive because of the way the timeline is going, So, it's just standard, computer language that I'm sort of translating into a artistic medium. That sounds really pretentious when I say it like that, but I said what I said. And then continue talking here. The initial concept behind the story is great, however. Sinners from hell in a demon purging contest. Winner gets to stay a year in heaven until the next contest. Also, Steve Bloom is the main character. Now that's sick as fuck. Still, I just can't get over the fact that there are some pretty cringe-ass lines in this game. But hey, at least you can skip all the cutscenes in this game and still have a blast. Honestly, if you're not into cringe comedy, then I'd highly recommend doing that. Now, here I'm going to be honest, I cut out the visuals and background noise simply well, I already mentioned background noise, but I cut out the visuals here because I just couldn't think of anything to say. Really. Not anything to say, anything to put visually. So I'm sorry for that. That was a little lazy on my part. And then here I just did the standard invert text. But anyways, on to gameplay. I saved this for last because gameplay is obviously the biggest, best, and most important aspect of this game. The game is for freaks by freaks, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Good gameplay stems from the player feeling satisfied just by moving around and hitting things. And it's a good thing that Neon White perfectly encapsulates that. You're fast, stringing combos of shooting and discarding things together, and when you finish a mission to see that you got a platinum medal on your first try, it's almost as satisfying as killing those who have wronged you. I got a platinum medal doing it the normal way. So here, I had yellow, violet, red, and then I have white for the final part of me talking about the base game because it's the most important, and white is the main character, so the text is white, although it has a black outline to it simply because it was just hard to read otherwise. And then some nice background footage, but For Freaks by Freaks, I made it so that it looked like how it does in the trailer. For Freaks appears here in this kind of font, which is, funnily enough, the closest font was the font for the title to Super Smash Bros. I have a bunch of video game fonts downloaded. And the Smash Bros. Font was just the closest to what I could find. So I was like, yeah, that works. And also, again, black outline just because it's kind of hard to read without it. And then when I talk about movement, I talk about the most movement, crazy levels, which is Mission 11, where I have the Book of Life, slight spoilers, as I'm talking about that. And then when I talk about, stringing together combos of movement and shooting, a good tutorial to this being a thing is the second ever level. So I showed that, and then I showed that I got a platinum medal on the first try. And then here, so what we have going on here is, first I keyframe at the beginning of this clip, keyframe at the end, and then I simply just made it so that it zoomed in, rotated, and zoomed in, and went to White's face, right? So that's going on there. And then I copy and pasted that, and I just, I fucked with the color so that it looks like this. And so I have it that, sorry. So I have it so that the normal thing fades out, and the fucked up looking one fades in. killing those who have wronged you. And it's the same thing with the principle with the audio. You know, I cut this part, I copy and pasted it. This is the normal one, I have it fade out. This is the weird one, I fade it in. And what effects did I apply? I applied the disguised effect, but I lowered the effectiveness of the effect. And then just the alien audio effect. I need to take a drink of water. Okay. Yeah, so that way my voice sounds all weird and it gets all foggy wuggy, and I think it's really cool. And then here I just, I showed some gameplay footage where I got it on the first try. But fun trick, if you want to make it seem like you have audio recorded along with your gameplay, I didn't actually record the audio with my gameplay. So instead what I'm doing here is I got a platinum medal doing it the normal way. So what I did there was I recorded that line, and I backed away from my mic to give it a sort of echoey effect, and I also left on my fan and AC. You can probably hear my AC in the background right now, because I turn it off while I'm recording audio, but here I want to make it seem like I'm comfortable in a natural, just like gaming environment, and that kind of gives it the illusion that like I was there for that moment, when in reality it's just more movie magic, And the gameplay cycle feels so stacked and complex despite only using the sticks, pause buttons, and triggers to play. Helps free up your thumbs for movement, which is heavily emphasized in this shooter. And then there's the insight system.
Not my first try, too.
Oh my lord, this is intuitive as hell! So here, just, switched up the footage to give it more variety, and then with this image, I just, got an image of a Pro controller. And then in Photoshop, I just add these paint strokes and text to, like, show what the buttons do. And then I just have, I gave it the drop-in transition, and you make it really quick. And it just makes it seem cool. By only using this. If you make it really quick. Also, note to viewers, for some reason Final Cut has it defaulted so that there's smoke. By only using this. That looks stupid, so make sure to uncheck that box when you're using this transition, unless you like really want it. But that's what I did, and then, thumbs up, and the thumbs up is going up, because, it's ascending, because that's how good it is, And then when I bring up the insight system, I show, the bass audio.
Not my first try, too.
Oh my... And then to emphasize this statement, I backed away from my mic to make it seem like I was in shock with how good the insight system is, right? After completing a level, you gain a certain amount of insight depending on what type of medal you get. This adds new things to the level you just played, like a collectible gift for side quests, a ghost replay, and a hint to beat the level faster. So why don't we look at the 3 stages of playing a level? Now ignore the fact that these are that this and this are very clearly 2 different takes. Please ignore that. But again, there's no music here because this is a 17-second clip. Like what's the point of putting music for that long? So I just changed up the footage to make it look, more varied. And then here's just a compound clip of the images showing up when and where I need them to be. So ghost replay, and then the level hint, I just used the Hamsa because that's like the symbol used. But I got cartoonish presence, cartoonish ghost thingy to just kind of like be cute and nice and cartoony. And then I have this image that separates the frame into thirds that I just use for help. You could probably do this in Final Cut natively, I just don't know how to. So I did it the stupid way of just having this image that helps me guide me. And I just have that like hidden here. And then I'm like, why don't we show the stages, doing it normally, and then I show the different stages of me doing level 5, 6. Now here, when I say following the level hint, I'm a little embarrassed because like I tried being a little slow because I was too afraid that I would beat this faster than step 3, innovating on the level hint. So I was a little scared about that, but I did it. I fucked up a bit too well, So I'm actually slower than the first attempt, which is a little embarrassing, but I think I get the point across, But this is just essentially a clip show of the game, of me playing the game. This caused me to be a world record holder for some time. Everything about this game's design is just done so masterfully, and I can't get enough of it. So here, it's just I took a screenshot when I got first place on the leaderboard because I was so excited at the time, and I just kept it around. And hey, who knows, you might you might end up using it, and what do you know, I did use it. And I just masked out, used a draw mask to get the time, and I just kept making it get bigger and bigger and closer to the center of the screen to show oh, I'm special, it's something I'm proud of. Or so I thought. And then, so I talk about, oh, this game is so endlessly fun. And then I say, or so I thought, with no visuals to show we're getting serious. And I add a dramatic thud sound effect because I thought it'd be cool. And then I play a ominous song as the text part 2 comes in. And, it's not fun or cool or anything to show how serious this issue is, What? The biggest problem I have with this game is that there's a huge lack of replay value to this game. The only replay value there is to this game is to play levels again in hopes that you can better your recorded time. But the thing is, I did this funny thing called 100%ing the game on my first playthrough, meaning I got all platinum medals, all gifts, all dialogue conversations, everything. And so here, I just fade in the visuals. And also the song I'm using is actually Normal from the Amori OST. Thought I'd mention that. And then 100%ing the game. This sound gives a lot of leeway to what mood you want, but here it's kind of like a comedic punchline. This is why there's no replay value for me. I 100% the game on my first playthrough. And then obviously 100 is the emphasized part of this sentence, so I have it ascending, layering up to show oh, that's, you did it all, you're at the top. And then, of course, I made it a compound clip just to make editing easier. I made all of these compound clips getting all ace medals. I have this, the reason I had this one kind of layer in on itself was simply because it's a low res image, so obviously the smaller it gets, the more clearer it looks. So I just wanted to make it look like that and not a jumbled mess. That's why I layered it like this. And then the presents I just copy and pasted from the other section. And then for all the dialogue conversations, I just used White's mask because I couldn't think of anything else. And then when I say everything, I have the longest ringing noise to show it's long, it's all, and then everything is small because everything is around it all. Does it make sense? I'm trying to do some visual storytelling. And the game tells me I'm good enough, so I don't feel like bettering my score because I used to be a world record holder. In the very early days of this game, I had a world record for the level 5-6 streets on Switch. And I even whittled it down quite a bit since then, but god damn, y'alls are fast. So here, standard invert text stuff. And then I show my time, and I show that I whittled it down. And then I show the current times, and I leave a long pause. And the reason I did that was to again, show that I am in shock, I am in awe at how fast these are, and then I cut it off with, god damn, y'alls are fast. God damn, y'alls are fast. So, you notice here I put dead air. I just recorded some white noise in my room just to make it, because if it's completely silent, it kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. God damn. I don't know why, so I just added that kind of for comfort, And then I zoom in on the times, being oh, that's fast. And then here I show my current time and what my placing at 43rd. And here, actually, I don't think the gap in between my next sentence was long enough, so I kind of copy and pasted it, and then I just faded out the beginning of the next sentence here, as you can see, just to give me a bit more leeway to show this picture. So what else is there to do other than bettering your time on levels and level rush? The answer? Not much. There's the hidden developer time medals, but again, them boys are fast, and aces make me feel accomplished enough. Now, here I just want to mention, again, I hid something. Here's me scrolling through the required developer times, but if I zoom in, you'll notice that the tabs I have open tell a bit of a story. If comment down below if you noticed that or if you just learned that from me. But I love hiding shit like this, so that was funny. Now, look, I still love this game and think it's a great experience, but the most fun I've had playing this game after my first playthrough was the playthrough you're watching now that I recorded for the sake of gathering footage, meaning I found enjoyment from an obligation. Even then, I didn't replay the levels much because I often got platinum medals on my first try. So when playing through this game again, I couldn't help but wonder, what could this game do to stay fresh? And then I played some Portal 2. So again, there's no music here. One, to emphasize what I'm talking about, and two, because I don't think anything would really fit the tone, I kind of went on a rant here. And then, here I have fresh being the emphasized word. And then I talk about Portal 2. And then, basically, I reused the compound clip. I said I'm reusing it because it's cool. I was proud of it. So I decided to, make it a joke where it says, we already did this bit, but I'm reusing it because it's cool. Part 3, greater potential. But that will be it for me today, and you will see me right now. Okay, and I'm back, and it's the next day, and I'm feeling a lot better. So, onto part 3. Okay, before we get into Portal 2 and its relevance to this video, let me first state that Neon White launched on Switch and Steam. And I think it's integral for all games to have a PC port. And I'm not even a PC Master Race cuck. So, here. Notice how, Portal 2, the title, goes, hold on, let me turn this off, goes along, this path, but I already set it up like that here. Just so, although it's interrupted by the Part 3 transition, it's still Portal 2 is in place, and there's a white background instead of a black to represent, a change, and then it goes along the path. And then I just put the part 3A here because I had nowhere else to put it. And as for, I made this a compound clip so that I could easily blur it. But I have the Switch logo and Steam logo layer. I want the Switch logo to kind of layer in on itself to show it's getting smaller, and the Steam logo gets bigger to show how much more important it is that I talk about this specific version of the game. I also added an outline to the Switch logo just so it's easier to separate what from what. And then I do a pretty sure directional blur. No, this is a cross dissolve. Is this a direction? This is a directional blur into Gaussian blur filter, and this just crossfades in. And then I have a check mark up here with a ding sound effect, and pretty standard. And then a screenshot of a PC Master Race shit conversation I had. It's so fucking stupid. And then I play a nerd emoji with a sound. Pretty standard stuff. I primarily play my games on console. This is my Steam library, and I play Neon White on Switch. I don't even have it on Steam. But I think PC ports are important because you're giving people the source files of the game. And this opens a door of opportunities in the form of mods. Mods are the GOAT because they turn a game from good to great.
Oh, we caught him lacking, he's out of range. Sao mà chửi thầy con cặc, sao mà nói chuyện vô dừng quá. Mày coi kìa mày cắt sao ta là mày. Wait, did I miss?
Always gets me to laugh. Here, this is just footage I recorded of me just taking a break from work and playing video games. I think I'm playing Xenoblade 3 here while I'm watching a Xenoblade Definitive Edition video. Don't worry about it, but you can actually see here I have the Neon White script right here on my second monitor. Why don't you look at that? But I just recorded myself playing a single boss fight in Xenoblade 3, and this is just what I use the footage for. And here's my Steam library, and here's me opening the game on Switch for one of my gameplay recordings. And then here, I realized I didn't have enough time to slowly put in the layering shit. So what I did was I had 2 appear at a time every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So preferably I want a layer per second because I just think that's a good pace, but obviously I don't have enough time, so obviously I have it a third of a second. You know, I have this video in 30 FPS, and I have it appear 2 at a time as it sort of spirals up to show like, yeah, this is like getting big and important. And then you got the Resident Evil remake door opening, and I simply just have the text crop in, have it be a crop wipe, and then I zoom it in accordingly, and then I just play a meme video I found on the internet, and I zoomed it in for some reason. I don't know why I did that, but whatever.
You know why Gmod is still a relevant game today? Because it can never run out of content! The stronger a game's modding community, the longer the game's lifespan. What makes Gmod so fun is that you never run out of things to do. Players get to have so much fun playing or making mods, and some of them add no real value other than just being funny as fuck.
Oh, guys, I've got a quick question for you, actually. What does it mean when it says launch the train?
Hell.
Here is just more standard stuff, but I want to mention that I chose these clouds visuals because, one, I already had it in the folder, the Neon White project folder, and two, I think it goes along with the song really well. So always remember to like have the song and visuals kind of match. You know, like when I'm listening to the song, I imagine like the color blue. And you know, this entire like this screenshot right here is very blue, you know. And I just have the part text crossfade out. And then here, you know, I just screen recorded me scrolling through the workshop for Gmod, and I zoomed in on how many there are and sped up that footage. And then, you know, got Miss Breezy here. This was a funny video. I liked it. And then I zoom in here for comedic effect.
Hell, sometimes modding gets so good that entirely new games are made. Just look at the thousands of Doom mods that are out there. Or just look at Cry of Fear, easily one of my favorite horror games of all time, and it's a mod of Half-Life 1. Even the previously mentioned Gmod was a mod of Half-Life 2. And so was Portal 1 now that I think about it. And what's often the go-to mod style for the first-person shooters is custom levels. So, back when Valve was actually making games, they decided to cut out the middleman and added the best feature to Portal 2. And no, it's not co-op.
So again here, cut out the visuals and background noise for emphasis. But I also want to mention that, like, you know, I talk about Doom having a heavy modding community, and then I say, look at Cry of Fear, and I have it descend and get smaller, which is like I feel it's good representation of what this game makes me feel, because, you know, it's a horror game. I feel like I'm descending into madness, and I'm like becoming more and more defenseless as the game goes on. And then while it's still on, I transition to the Half-Life 1 footage to like get a smooth like transition into this footage of Half-Life 1. And then we just got Half-Life 2. And notice Half-Life 2, the way it's layering here, is an exact parallel of the way I made Gmod kind of come in. Something fun. And then just, you know, play Portal 1 footage here.
A level creator is essentially a game mode that's Super Mario Maker. And although I love me some Mario Maker, I just think that Portal 2 is the GOAT for 2 reasons. First, Portal 2 is just a more fun game. It's an incredibly fun puzzle game with a lot of interesting mechanics, and with each custom-made level is a new challenge to sort. They're especially satisfying when beating them quickly. The second reason is, specifically on the PC version, Portal 2 is open console, meaning when you press that funny little tilde key, the developer console will open, meaning if you know the proper command, you can do anything possible within the boundaries of the game, leading to special levels like Gelosity, 12 Angry Tests, or Aperture Valentine. Level makers are so fun, and considering Portal is a puzzle game with creative thinking and physics-based puzzles, Valve used this level maker to teach children. That's fucking awesome!
Again, more cutting out background noise for emphasis as I show that Valve, you know, used Portal 2 to teach children. Here, I didn't just want it to be a black screen because I felt it would be boring and also remove the importance of this line. So I added the desktop saver footage. And then all the way back here, when I say Mario Maker and then I talk about Portal 2, I wanted to like cleanly wipe. So as you can see here, I simply just put the title and the Portal 2 footage under the Mario Maker shit, so that when it disappears, it's a nice clean transition. It's something fun to do. Here, I basically just copy and pasted the Portal 2 shit from the beginning of part 3 of this video, and I just made it a compound clip, moved it a little bit, and just put the title there to say it's a more fun game. And then I got footage of 12 Angry Test, and then here, I was like, this is a funny freeze frame, so I freeze framed, outlined it. Well, first I did a draw mask of the cube. So I freeze framed that, made a draw mask, outlined it, and then, here I'm actually doing a layer per second, because, like, this is exactly 1 second, I counted the fucking frames. And then here, I just, like, on the last layer, I added a noise and, like, text saying, like, what's the big deal? And then I kind of did the same thing with Mario Maker, but in a shittier way, where I cut out the footage, and then put the tilde key there, and then just show footage of Grapefruit, shout out Grapefruit, using the console in Portal 1 to just fuck around. And then I showed some even more of his videos, and I sped them up to double speed because just like the things I wanted to show weren't being shown fast enough, of just like the courses I mentioned that are really fun. So, yep, back onto the video again.
So, how does this all pertain to Neon White? Well, I'm saying that Mr. Ben Esposito should build a level maker into the game, son. It would be so fucking sick. Can you imagine the game adding its own level maker with set goals and card placements and demons, and it works well with the simple geometries of level design, and it's just... this would be so cool!
So obviously I just show titles here, and then here, I add a keyframe at the beginning, keyframe at the end. Let me see if I can show the level path all the way. Not even, you have to like zoom out really far. Yeah, so I make it travel a really long way. But yeah, keyframe at the beginning, keyframe at the end, just make sure it... With simple animations like this, you just need a start and end point, and that's it, and the program will do the rest. And then here I just showed footage of the game, because why not, and I did a simple zoom in, and here I thought that I was very loud here, so I just turned down the volume, of course. But this is just some simple shit. Actually, you know what? Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Okay. I present to you the Neon White level maker. It would be modeled like the Portal 2 level maker. On the side is a tab to add basic geometry, turn a normal surface into water, and add cards and demons on the ground. You can choose a skybox from the base game and music choice like in Mario Maker. Maybe you could add custom goals like finish the level with X amount of shotgun ammo, or you can only move with the fireball ability. That would be amazing. I would unironically pay so much money for this to be a thing like DLC. Hell, maybe we can customize our character and our friends can see our ghost playbacks. But more importantly, this could easily lead to new ideas and techs being found. How do you think the developers got their ideas? Okay, so, here, I just added, like, some random cartoon noises to just let your imagination fill in what you wanted to see. And then as for the level maker itself, I made this in Illustrator, and I simply just exported each layer as its own image. So I just, I drew up this document here. And it looks something like this. And I just drew it up in Illustrator real quick. Well, I say real quick, it took me like 30 minutes to make, all in all. But, as for the music choice, I tried to just choose something that was kind of like that was kind of similar to what music plays during the Portal 2 level creator. And I was like, oh, Self-Esteem from the first Portal is like really good for that. So I have the background cross dissolve in here. I also have I have the cloud stuff fade in and the main level fade in as well. But here I add first I had it pop up. I just added a path. I just added an animation path for it. And then here I use the duplicate transition. I just wanted to like mix the transitions I use. And then here I did the drop-in thing again for the little tab. And then as I talk about it and like when it's needed, I show like the labeling I used, add a wait sound effect there. And then as for
You can choose a sky
to make it look like it was opening, what I did was as you can see, I stretched the hell out of it. I compressed it actually. And then so I just like have added a keyframe here, and over time I unstretch it. But if I was to just stretch it normally, it would end up looking like this. So I just moved it down to make it seem like it's dropping down like an actual like tab thing here. And then here, as you can see, you can just hear my lips smacking there, so I just cut that and disabled that part of the clip. And for this, this like custom character thing, I just made this in Photoshop. I downloaded a bunch of images of all the sprites for the different characters in the game. And I just took the Mask of Yellow and like this part of Violet, and it was clashing with all of White's thing imagery. So I simply just erased the parts that were getting in the way very shittily. But I think it works. So I did that, and I saved it as an image, and then like I saved it all the separate parts as an image, as their own separate images. Get out of the way. Come on, get out of here, Photoshop. And then here in this compound clip, I have a White's sprite, and then as you can see, I have both the Violet image and the Yellow image just following a simple animation path here. And I added a zoom blur filter. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, zoom. So I added a blur effect to make it look like it's motion blur as it goes, and then it immediately just stops the second it gets to there. And as you can see, you can kind of see here's the part that was like clashing with it. So I just I add in the full image and just have it quickly crossfade into it to make it look almost seamless. And then I just made it a compound clip so that I could have it like get closer to the screen.
Maybe we can customize our character and our friends can see our ghost playbacks. But more
so I can easily make it fade out as I unblur the background footage. And for this part of the devs react, it's good to get a testimonial, but here I muted the audio right here because they were already talking.
Yeah.
But because it's not important to what I'm saying and I just need to show the visuals here, I just muted the audio.
I love the little balloon conglomerate.
So that's real nice.
The many great ideas for this game was made as the devs went along. And with this kind of creative process, it's perfect for people to explore the ins and outs of this game with a level maker. This game would innovate so much in such little time, such is the way of the speedrun. Also, if you do this, make it open console. Make your game open console like Portal 2. It would be good. Just do it. Just make your game. Just make it a level creator! Also, if an official one is made, make it for Switch as well. I know I've mostly been talking about the Steam version of the game, but Homeboy's gotta represent. This.
So, here I just emphasize this, yada yada yada. And I kind of just make it a silly tone while just playing Portal 2 footage. And then here, I just put the image in an adjustment layer with the path this time to just stretch and move the image in a funny way. And then when I talk about making it for Switch, I like to do as well. I don't think I need to explain how I did that sort of animation, but I'm just really proud of it. I thought that was like so cool.
This game is just perfectly designed to be the definition of endless fun if the game would realize its potential. I beg that game modders crack down on this game, or that Mr. Ben Esposito opens the game to Steam Workshop. This game is perfectly built for mods. Imagine brand new levels, game modes, side stories, multiplayer rounds. Imagine a unique game mode like a card randomizer on each level, or maybe like a multiplayer mode where like...
Okay, so I'm not gonna let the rant play on because that'll just take a while. But here, what I did is I opened an Illustrator document and I just turned the word fun into a symbol and made a symbol brush out of it. And I just screen recorded me drawing it out. And as you can see here in like the actual clip, the background was green, so I just green screened it out. And then when I finished writing it, I freeze framed, added an outline, and then did the standard layering thing. And then I, unblur the footage, let that play, and then here for the rant time, to show that it's kind of like just something unscripted and ranting, I cut the visuals and just let the diegetic sounds of the game play for comfort background noise. And then, this, I don't think I need to explain this. I made a compound clip where I made this title show up, and then I just made the two of them disappear because I didn't want it to clutter the screen too much, but I still wanted to have layering. And then as a compound clip, I just lowered the opacity so you can like watch the gameplay footage if you wanted to.
Neon White could very well be the greatest game ever made if we could just understand its source code more. In the small off chance that Mr. Ben Esposito is watching this, please open this game to the Steam Workshop and or add a level maker to both ports. This would make the game ascend from its 10 out of 10 status to that of godlike, which is pretty fitting given the subject matter of the game. The game is already perfect, but it can be better. That is why Neon White is a great game with greater potential.
Alright, so that's like the end of the video, but here, I intended originally to just let the image as is, like let it stay like this, but I was like, no, there's plenty of space in between, why not layer? So I just made it all a compound clip. I masked out White's mask, and layered it just like how I felt. And then, I just got adjustment layers zooming in with every please. And then here, something went wrong with like the compound clips and how I wanted them to play. So what I did was I just made a new project with the workshop segment and the level maker segment. I just made them their own like project and just exported them as their own MOVs. Ignore the fact that I already made the commentary project. Made them their own MOVs and just put them here like this and played them. And I sped up, I think I did not speed up the level maker, but I sped up the workshop footage here. And then for background footage, I just did the desktop saver, but I changed around the colors because I thought it looked cool. And I kind of did the same thing that I did with the Switch thingy, but I just made it more, made it with both this time. Oh shit, I forgot to mention, I should have mentioned, for the fun here, originally what I was going to do is I was going to have the word fun appear here, and then I was going to make like a spiral of the word fun as it gets like smaller and further away, but I realized that it would just take too much time, and I originally was going to make a symbol brush and make a spiral with the word fun, but it looked like shit, so I didn't do that. Just something I should mention. But here was, let me see if I can... No, okay, so, I'm gonna show off what I did by first just dragging in the source footage. But, I made a document in Adobe Animate, and I placed the word... Come on. I placed the word 10 out of 10 and the word godlike, and I just made a motion tween that lasted like a second. And again, green background, screen recorded it. So I just did that. I keyed it out, removed all the noise, added an outline to... For some reason, I added an outline to it. And I added this funny little noise as it transforms.
Godlike. Which is...
And then I just made it fade out. And then Pedro Pascal image, and then here I play the beginning of the montage, and then I cut off the visuals and emphasize the word again.
with greater potential.
And I just play like a cool ending montage. And I wanted to show two segments of the... I didn't want to show the middle segment of this mission, so I just added a transition there. And then I wanted a joke to be like, because Doom is a speedrunning game, I just added like a glory kill from Doom Eternal. And just added what, like, to be like, hey, that's not supposed to be in here.
Heaven is a trip.
And then I add like the drop beat, because like, you know, as I show like the intro, greater game, greater potential. This is just inverted text again. And then I show my logo, and then like subscribe, join my Discord, and then I leave, you know, a few seconds for all the end cards. As for the montage itself, here's what the original idea was. I just made it its own project just because. But I need to record new footage for the montage because and the normal gameplay footage music, the game music was playing out, and like it was clashing with the music I was playing. So I just turned off the music and re-recorded like these specific missions as I do like cool shit. And I was planning on having like text appear every now and then to like describe just like things about the game, and it would end with the word it would end with infinite and then
Heaven is a trip.
fun, infinite fun. But I decided against that just because I didn't feel like it, so I just made adjustments on the actual like main video timeline. Come on, load faster. Okay. Yeah, that's the neon white video. That's the entire timeline. That is not what I meant to press. And here we can see, I want to show you what the entire timeline looks like when I'm fully zoomed out. It looks like this, and that's a lot of layers. Actually, I can do it even more if I separate the lanes. Look at that. What a mess, but also how very cool. Whoops. So, yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, you know, if you want more of these, like, editing commentaries, let me know down below. And, I guess... yeah, that's it for me. Make sure to check out the original video if you haven't. Why are you watching if you haven't seen the original video, you know? But, yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.